Discipline is the silent force that shapes a person's life, while desire is the loud distraction that often leads them astray. Discipline does not demand applause, nor does it seek recognition. It simply exists as a commitment, a quiet agreement you make with yourself to do what is necessary, not just what feels pleasant. Desire, on the other hand, is impatient. It demands immediate satisfaction and it resists discomfort. When you allow desire to lead, your actions are dictated by fleeting emotions. When you allow discipline to lead, your actions are guided by principles. The human mind is naturally drawn toward what is easy, comfortable, and pleasurable. This is not weakness. It is part of survival instinct. But survival is not the same as mastery. Mastery demands that you step beyond comfort and into discomfort, willingly and consistently. The person who relies solely on desire will work hard only when they feel inspired. The person who relies on discipline will work hard even when they feel nothing at all. Discipline is forged in repetition. It is built each time you wake up before the sun, each time you keep going when your body feels heavy, each time you choose to stay focused while distractions call for your attention. It does not matter how much motivation you have on a good day. It matters how much commitment you show on a bad day. Because desire will vanish in moments of hardship, but discipline will remain, carrying you forward step by step. Desire often seeks rewards. It asks, "What will I get if I do this?" Discipline does not ask. Discipline acts because the act itself is part of the path. When you train your body or mind, you are not only shaping skills, you are shaping the person you will become. Every moment of training is a conversation between who you are now and who you could be. In that conversation, desire will try to persuade you to stop, to rest, to give in. Discipline will remind you that progress is not made in moments of ease, but in moments of resistance. There will always be a gap between what you want to do and what you need to do. That gap is where discipline lies. Imagine standing in the cold, the air biting at your skin, your muscles stiff, your mind whispering to go back inside. If you listen to desire, you will retreat to warmth. If you listen to discipline, you will remain where you are, breathe deeply, and push forward. Over time, these moments create a resilience that desire alone cannot produce. Discipline is not emotionless. It does not require you to suppress your feelings, but it teaches you to act independently of them. Some days you will feel tired, unmotivated, even doubtful. Yet discipline reminds you that these feelings are temporary, while the results of your actions are lasting. It gives you the power to work when the fire of desire burns low, and to keep going until the fire returns. Without discipline, desire can become a trap. You may start many things but finish few. You may dream of change but never achieve it. Discipline frees you from this cycle by replacing the need for inspiration with the habit of action. It is the bridge between intention and reality, between thought and achievement. Training yourself to choose discipline over desire is not about rejecting pleasure or comfort forever. It is about creating a structure where your actions are no longer at the mercy of your mood. When the mind learns to obey the plan instead of the impulse, it gains strength that cannot be shaken by boredom, frustration, or fatigue. In the same way, the body grows stronger through repeated strain. The mind grows unshakable through repeated acts of discipline. In a world that constantly demands movement, noise, and reaction, stillness appears almost unnatural. Yet, it is within stillness that true power is discovered. When the body becomes quiet and the mind is allowed to settle, Clarity begins to rise from beneath the surface of constant thought. Most people live in a state of constant motion, chasing tasks, answering demands, reacting to every stimulus that crosses their path. This creates the illusion of progress, but movement without direction is simply exhaustion in disguise. Stillness breaks this cycle. Stillness is not laziness. It is not the absence of effort, nor is it an escape from responsibility. It is the deliberate choice to pause, to be present, and to listen. Just as muddy water clears when left undisturbed, the mind too becomes clear when it is no longer stirred by endless distractions. In that clarity, decisions become sharper and actions gain precision. Without stillness, thoughts run endlessly like a river after a storm, carrying with them confusion and doubt. With stillness, those thoughts settle, revealing the truth that was always there. The modern world glorifies speed, faster answers, faster results, faster lives. But speed without awareness leads to mistakes. In stillness, you notice the details that speed would have forced you to overlook. You become aware of the way your breath moves, the way your body feels, the way your thoughts rise and fall. This awareness becomes a tool, sharpening your perception not just of yourself, but of the world around you. Stillness also teaches patience. In quiet moments, you begin to understand that not every problem needs an immediate reaction. Some challenges require observation before action. Some answers reveal themselves only when you stop forcing them. Just as seeds grow in silence beneath the soil, many solutions develop unseen until the right moment arrives. When you learn to be still, you stop chasing answers and start allowing them to come to you. It is in stillness that control over the mind is developed. The mind is like a wild animal, constantly seeking stimulation, running from one thought to the next. Stillness is the training ground where that animal learns to rest. At first, the attempt to be still can feel impossible. The moment you stop moving, your mind starts to wander, bringing forth unfinished tasks, worries, and plans. But with time and practice, the mind learns to follow the body into quiet. The restlessness fades and the present moment becomes enough. Stillness also changes the way you engage with movement. When you move after stillness, you move with purpose. Your actions are no longer reactive, but intentional. A warrior who moves without awareness wastes energy, striking without aim. A warrior who moves from stillness acts with precision, using only the energy that is needed, never more, never less. In this way, stillness and movement become partners, each strengthening the other. To cultivate stillness is to cultivate inner strength. The storms of life will always come. Moments of stress, loss, and uncertainty are inevitable. But if you have trained yourself in stillness, you can stand in the middle of the storm without being carried away by it. You become an observer of your thoughts instead of a prisoner to them. This is not a withdrawal from life, but a way to engage with it more fully, with greater calm and deeper understanding. Stillness is a discipline in itself. It requires the courage to step back from constant activity, the patience to endure quiet without reaching for distraction, and the strength to face whatever surfaces when the noise fades away. In these moments of deep stillness, the mind stops reacting and begins to see pain, is often seen as something to be avoided, an enemy to escape from as quickly as possible. Yet those who walk the path of growth learn to see pain differently. Pain is not just a signal that something is wrong. It is also a messenger, a teacher, and at times the very forge that shapes strength. Without pain, there is no real understanding of endurance, no appreciation for ease, and no depth of wisdom. In training, pain is inevitable. Muscles ache when they are pushed beyond their limits. Lungs burn when breath is short, and the body protests against the strain of discipline. This physical discomfort is not a punishment, it is proof of progress. The body grows stronger only by adapting to resistance, and adaptation is triggered through discomfort. The same is true for the mind. Challenges that cause emotional or mental pain, failure, rejection, loss are moments when the mind is being stretched, tested, and prepared to handle more than it could before. Pain has a way of stripping away illusions. In comfort, it is easy to believe that strength is abundant and resolve is unshakable. But when pain arrives, those beliefs are tested. It reveals whether the foundation you stand on is solid or fragile. Many run from this revelation, fearing what they might discover about themselves. But those who endure it find something deeper, the realization that pain, when faced with courage, becomes the path to resilience. Pain also teaches humility. It reminds you that no matter how skilled, prepared, or strong you believe yourself to be, you are still human, vulnerable, limited, and imperfect. This humility does not weaken you, it grounds you. It replaces arrogance with patience and replaces the illusion of control with the understanding that growth is a lifelong journey. A student who has never tasted failure will not truly value success. A warrior who has never been struck will not fully respect the battle. There is a difference between pain that harms and pain that teaches. Harmful pain destroys without building, but the pain of training, learning, and discipline leaves you stronger than before. The key is in recognizing which pain you are facing. The pain of persistence may exhaust you, but it also shapes you. The pain of quitting, of giving in to weakness, lingers much longer and teaches nothing but regret. Pain slows you down, it forces you to pay attention. A blister on the hand teaches better grip technique. Soreness, after training, reveals where your strength is lacking. Emotional pain after a mistake pushes you to understand your choices more deeply. In this way, pain becomes feedback, not failure. It speaks a language that is often clearer than words, and those who learn to listen to it gain knowledge that cannot be taught in comfort. Pain is also a mirror. It shows you your relationship with struggle. Some meet pain with anger, some with fear, and some with acceptance. How you respond reveals your inner discipline. Do you withdraw at the first sign of discomfort, or do you adjust, adapt, and keep moving forward? Each encounter with pain is an opportunity to strengthen not only the body, but also the will. Over time, the lessons of pain accumulate. What once felt unbearable becomes manageable. What once broke your focus becomes a signal to sharpen it. Through repeated encounters, pain ceases to be something that stops you and becomes something that guides you. It shapes the body into a vessel of endurance and the mind into a fortress of patience. Pain, when embraced as a teacher, does not weaken, it refines the unbreakable mind. It is not born from comfort, nor is it a gift given at birth. It is forged through countless moments of doubt, fatigue, and temptation to stop, yet choosing to move forward anyway. Strength of body can carry you for a while, skill can give you an advantage, and luck may open doors, but none of these will sustain you in the long run if the mind surrenders. The mind is the commander. The body simply follows its orders. When the mind decides there is no retreat, the body will endure more than it ever thought possible. This mindset is built on the understanding that quitting is always a choice, and so is continuing. In every moment of struggle, there is a voice that tells you to stop, to rest, to escape the discomfort. That voice is not the enemy, but it must never be allowed to lead. The unbreakable mindset listens to that voice without obeying it. It acknowledges weakness without being ruled by it. This is not denial of difficulty. It is the mastery of response. Pressure reveals the truth about a person. In calm and easy conditions, everyone appears strong. But when pressure mounts, when failure seems certain, when pain becomes sharp and the goal feels distant, most people break. The unbreakable mindset does not guarantee that you will avoid hardship. It guarantees that hardship will not decide your actions for you. It is the decision to keep taking the next step, even when the finish line is hidden by the storm. This mindset grows through repeated exposure to challenge. Every time you endure when it would be easier to stop, you reinforce the belief that you can handle more. Every time you choose effort over excuse, you strengthen the command your mind has over your actions. Small victories in daily life, resisting the temptation to give up on a task, holding form in the last seconds of training, completing a goal despite tiredness, are the bricks from which this mental fortress is built. An unbreakable mindset is not emotionless. It feels fear, frustration, and doubt just as anyone else does. The difference is that these emotions are not allowed to dictate the outcome. Fear becomes a signal to prepare more deeply. Frustration becomes a reminder that mastery takes time. Doubt becomes a test of belief in the process. This shift in perspective turns what could be weaknesses into tools of endurance. When the mind is unbreakable, setbacks become temporary. Failure is no longer seen as a reason to stop, but as part of the process of progress. The person with this mindset understands that every obstacle is an opportunity to strengthen their resolve. The more they face, the more resilient they become. Where others see a dead end, they see a challenge to overcome, even if it means moving one step at a time for as long as it takes. This way of thinking also changes the relationship between effort and reward. Instead of working only for the promise of an outcome, the unbreakable mindset values the act of perseverance itself. It finds satisfaction in knowing that giving up was possible, but not chosen. This internal reward builds a deep self, trust, a belief that no matter how severe the circumstances, the decision to endure will remain intact. The unbreakable mindset is not about never bending, it is about never breaking. Like tempered steel, it may flex under immense force, but it will not shatter. It adapts without surrendering. It feels the weight of the challenge yet refuses to let that weight crush its will. Through time, effort, and repeated testing, it becomes a force that no hardship can command, a state of mind that walks forward through fire, wind, and darkness without losing sight of the path. Power does not lie in being unyielding at all times, nor in being endlessly gentle. It exists in the ability to move between the two with precision, knowing when to apply force and when to release it. Strength without softness can become destructive, breaking what could have been guided. Softness without strength can become weakness, bending to everything without the ability to stand firm. The balance between these two qualities creates a harmony that allows both resilience and adaptability to coexist. In the physical sense, this balance can be seen in the body of a trained martial artist. Muscles are not constantly tense. They tighten only when the moment demands. Movements are fluid until the instant a strike is needed, at which point they become sharp and decisive. This shifting between relaxed readiness and explosive action is what makes each movement efficient. To remain rigid at all times would exhaust the body and slow the reaction. To remain soft at all times would make power impossible to generate. It is the mastery of transition that makes the difference. The same principle applies to the mind. Mental strength allows a person to hold their ground in the face of adversity, but mental softness allows them to listen, to adapt, and to see situations from more than one perspective. A mind that is always rigid will break under enough pressure, refusing to change even when change is necessary. A mind that is always soft will have no anchor, drifting wherever external forces push it. The mind that balances the two will adapt without losing its core principles. Softness is often misunderstood as weakness, but it is in fact a form of strength in its own right. It is the strength to remain calm when provoked, to respond with patience when anger would be easier, and to endure insult without being diminished by it. Softness can absorb force without shattering, much like water flowing around a rock. Over time, that water shapes the rock without a single act of aggression. This is the quiet power of softness. Strength, when applied with wisdom, is not about domination but about protection. It is the force that shields what is important, that stands unyielding against harm, that carries the weight others cannot. Without strength, softness has nothing to protect it. Without softness, strength has nothing to guide it. The two are not opposites, they are partners, each incomplete without the other. In daily life, this balance shows itself in the way a person interacts with challenges and with others. There are moments that require firmness, setting boundaries, speaking truth, standing against injustice. There are also moments that require gentleness, offering understanding, showing compassion, and allowing others the space to grow. Knowing which to choose and when is the essence of wisdom. Training both qualities is a matter of awareness and practice. Strength grows through resistance, through tasks that challenge your endurance, your focus, and your resolve. Softness grows through mindfulness, through moments of stillness, deep listening, and patience. One teaches you to push forward against obstacles. The other teaches you to yield and flow around them when force is not the answer. Nature offers endless examples of this balance. The bamboo bends in the wind but does not break, its flexibility allowing it to survive storms that snap rigid trees. The ocean is soft to the touch, yet holds the power to shape coastlines and carve through stone. Both softness and strength are present in these forces, working together rather than against each other. The mastery of this balance is not achieved by favoring one side permanently, but by moving seamlessly between them. It is the ability to be a wall when resistance is needed, and to be open space when reception is needed. It is standing firm in principle while remaining open in heart, unafraid to shift form without losing essence, the path of self. Mastery is not built on a single principle, but on the harmony of many. Discipline over desire ensures that action is guided by commitment rather than fleeting emotion. The power of stillness creates clarity in a world of constant noise, sharpening perception and grounding the mind. Pain, as a teacher, transforms hardship into a forge for strength, shaping both resilience and humility. The unbreakable mindset turns obstacles into steps forward, replacing surrender with persistence. And the balance between softness and strength allows one to adapt without losing form, to protect without destroying, and to endure without becoming rigid. Together, these principles form more than a philosophy, they form a way of living. They remind us that mastery is not a moment of achievement, but a continuous practice. Each day is an opportunity to refine discipline, embrace stillness, learn from pain, strengthen the mind, and move with balanced power. In walking this path, a person becomes not only stronger and wiser, but also more complete, moving through life with purpose, presence, and unshakable inner strength.